Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin with Yubel support. Yubel, Fusion, Shokan. Oh, there's a whole new retrain of Yubel, huh? Okay. This should be cool. It's Love and Suffering is Eternal with Yubel in this Phantom Nightmare, the new set, a reference to Phantom Darkness, the original power creep set of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Yubel support. Although I'm not referring to the Yubel cards as the, Anyway, she is a level 10 Dark Fiend. 0/0, Spirit of Yubel. You can only first second fight once per turn. When a opponent monster declares an attack, special this. And if it's special, take a spell trap from your deck that mentions Yubel and add it or set it. I don't know or think there are any spells and traps in the game that say this. So we must have a whole bunch of new ones. In terms of old school ones, I can't think of any spells and traps that say Yubel in the text. They must be really bad. So hopefully they'll give us some busted new ones. It can't be destroyed by battle and you take no battles involving it. If this is destroyed, you can special one of your Yubels. That is banished or in your hand, deck, or graveyard. If this card is just straight up destroyed in any way, so destroyed in your hand, destroyed from your deck, etc., etc. So that makes it very easy to tutor out Yubel, I suppose, and then you have to destroy that Yubel. So I guess this support technically wants you to still play the OG Yubel, which I guess makes sense. Geist Grinder Golem. Has anyone shown this to DZeef? Geist Grinder Golem. Okay, so we have a new Grinder Golem retrain. Lithium is in absolute shambles right now. 3,300 defense. I think this is the same stats and everything, right? Dark Fiend as well, still searchable with the Spirit Mastery. You can only special summon it once per turn. Reveal a Yubel in your hand. I assume this includes Spirit, because it's a Yubel monster. Special this from your hand to your opponent's field, and then special the revealed monster to your field. You can special this or Yubel. During damage calc, if this battles a Yubel, your opponent gains 3,000 life points. If you special summon Yubel while this is in your graveyard, special this card to your opponent's field. So you want to go second, reveal Yubel in your hand, special to your opponent's field, special Yubel, and then summon the Yubel, attack, you gain 3,000, and the other, what's the OG effect of Yubel? It doesn't trigger, right? It just, they take 3,000 or something like that, maybe? I don't know. This doesn't seem very good. Maybe you're supposed to use other cards. Let's find out. We've got a new Samsara card. Oh, yeah, that's what we need. Apparently we need new Samsara cards. Level 1 Dark Fiend. 0/0. Oh boy. Well, level 1 Dark 0/0 makes this searchable in like 9 different ways already. Prior Ice Map, 1-for-1, etc., etc. I'm sure there's more busted ways to get to this. You can only use the first, second, and third effect those once per turn. Tribute this, cost special Yubel. Okay, Lone Fire Blossom for Yubel. Special Yubel monster, by the way, not just like Yubel. I think, can you go straight into Ultimate Nightmare with this? Also, I suppose this one technically also just gets you into... Or Terror Incarnate. I think the third one is actually not that good. It's the second one that's the good one, right? Because it's something like... So I think you can go straight into those, correct? Only Spirit or Original? Are you sure? Oh, okay. During your opponent's turn, when a monster effect is activated while you control Yubel, quick effect, tribute this, that effect becomes destroy Yubel monster in the field. While you control, you contribute this. So you have to... I don't understand this. When a monster effect is activated while you control Yubel, you contribute this. How are you? So you're supposed to get like 2 of these out? What? I'm supposed to normal summon this, tribute effect, special summon, bring back Yubel, and then somehow put a second one on the field? During end phase you control Yubel in this card, you take this card and add it. Oh, okay, so there you go. Third effect brings itself back. Alright, that seems really good, I guess. I mean, that's the whole point of the deck, is triggering to destroy Yubel, and this just forces your opponent to trigger your Yubel for you, so that's just a 1-card setup. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. There's a new fusion here, which I assume combines with 2 new spells, by the way. Yubel, das ewig liebe Wächter. Level 12 Dark Fiend 0/0. Yubel and an effect monster on the field. Jesus Christ. Well, Super Polymerization is just the best card in this deck, apparently. Okay. If this is fusion, summon inflict 500 to your opponent for each fusion material used for its summon. Oh my god. This is even more broken than I thought it was. Effect monsters, plural. 1+. Holy crap. Jesus Christ. Yubel Super Poly is just a full board wipe. That's insane. Now, to be fair, it's not as good as you think it is, because if your opponent has like a big crazy field of negates, how are you even summoning Yubel to the field? because they're just going to negate your ways to get Yubel on the field. But if you do get Yubel on the field, it is super poly for, like, the entire life. So that's decent. So it does a little bit of burn damage. It can be destroyed with battle or card effects, so you take no battle damage. And if this card battles, at the end damage, inflict damage equal to that monster's attack, and then banish it. Well, there you go. Not too bad. The botch job German is roughly going for Eternal Loving Protector, citing Yubel's role as Judai's eternal soulmate and protector. Is that really the lore of Yubel? They're on the same team? I haven't seen GX, I couldn't tell you. Nightmare Pain. Alright, so we have a continuous spell card. You can use it for its effect once per turn. During your main, destroy a dark in your hand or face-up field, and if you do, add Yubel or a card that mentions it from deck to hand except Nightmare Pain. Well, this is busted. It's Rota. It triggers Yubel. That just does everything the deck's win condition needs you to do. You don't have to play crappy Fire King Island, I suppose. That's very good. While you control any Yubels, all monsters must attack them if able. Okay, bonus Savage Colosseum effect. By the way, did you know in Yu-Gi-Oh, like, people refer to cards as, like, other cards? So, like, if a monster has a search effect on summon, it's a Stratos. If someone has a generic spell that adds a card, it's a Rota. My go-to for attacking if necessary is Savage Colosseum. Like, I don't know. Do people know what that card is? Apparently, that's just something I know. Anyway, your opponent takes any battle damage you would taken from battles involving your Yubels. Don't they already all do this anyway? But anyway, yeah, obviously, this is, like, the first main effect is, like, the best thing during your main phase, destroy one. It's a hard once per turn, so you can't use multiples, but this is the entire point of the deck, is to destroy Yubel, and you can just destroy it from your hand. So that's really good. Mature Chronicle. Another continuous spell. Each time Yubel and the monster that mentions it is special, place a Chronicle counter. Oh, this is definitely an anime card. I remember this. I've seen one GX duel, I think, and it was Yubel versus Crystal Beasts, I want to say. I don't remember. It's been a while. Remove up to 5 Chronicles and activate one of these effects. Special Yubel from the grave. Add one of your banish cards. Banish a card from your deck. Destroy a card on the field. Or add Super Polymerization. Okay, well... So at an absolute minimum, you can just keep bringing Yubel back if you just trigger it once. So every time Yubel is summoned, you just get a Chronicle counter and you can immediately bring it back from the grave, and then you can just have multiple Yubels, like, looping, I think, right? That's pretty good. It's also not once per turn for the first effect, so you can accumulate, like, a lot of counters. But this is very much sort of a, you definitely need to be playing in order for this to be good. All right, we have a trap card, which I think can be set from this guy, right? Take a spell and trap that mentions it and add it or set it, so that's very nice. Eternal Favorite, once per turn, activate one of its effects, because you're following once per turn. Special Yubel that is banished from your graveyard. Neither player can activate cards or effects when it's special summoned. Sure, so it's just a continuous reborn of Yubel, by the way. If you control Yubel, discard a card and send this from your face-up spell. And trap zone cost, fusion a fusion from your actually use a monster from either field as materials, including a Yubel. Ah, would you look at that? Okay, they have a super polymerization in the theme of the card. There you go. Fantastic. All right. Well, overall, this support is... it's not nowhere near good enough to make Yubel even remotely playable. Well, playable, definitely. Competitive, absolutely not. But it's really cool, decent, does a lot in the sense of that it fulfills the win condition of the archetype. It provides you with an avenue to actually play the OG original cards as they were intended, and a lot of the card effects are totally circulated around the ability of the Yubel's destruction, and provides you with multiple ways to recur and constantly achieve that win condition of the OG Yubel, which is beautiful legacy support, and that's how you want to see support designed instead of just, here's a floodgate, here is a negate. Unfortunately, we don't have Yubel Sunseed Loci, or, you know, Yubel Circular, although this guy is kind of close to Yubel Circular. There's maybe a world that this can be a decent deck. I mean, it cannot be understated how powerful it is to just fuse your opponent's field constantly. You can do it multiple times. You can set this trap every time you special summon Spirit of Yubel, and you can search Super Polymerization with Mature Chronicle. Although that's probably not going to be happening very consistent, because this has to remove 5 Chronicle counters. Overall, this is very good anime legacy support, but it's not competitive, so don't get your hopes up. It's still a very cool deck, and I could definitely see this stealing a lot of funny wins at locals with the Super Polymerization win condition. I like it. I like it. let's throw in a new archetype to check out here. We've got Unleashing Justice with Centurion. DBVS. DB, Deutschbahn versus... Oh, okay. Let's see if this deck is good. A whole new archetype here. It seems to be a... it looks like there can be only one archetype. So there's no consistency here. So let's see what kind of stuff we got here. This is a synchro. Okay, nice. The Trinner. A synchro deck. Now, if I know anything about synchro decks, you can catch me at my girl's funeral. Let's see if there's anything remotely similar. We've got Centurion Primera, a level 4 light spellcaster tuner, 1616. Only can lose the first and third once per turn. This is normal or special to add a Centurion card, any card, not just monster, from your deck to hand, but you cannot special Primera for the rest of this turn. You just can't summon itself. I mean, that is just really good and broken. That seems to be a staple and typical card effect in any new archetype these days, is like they have some sort of searcher or consistency card, and that's obviously good to see. Stats on the field, as well as a way to get to the rest of the archetype, so that's a very good start. Level 5 or higher Centurions can't be destroyed by card effects, while this card is treated as a continuous trap card. Interesting. Do we have some sort of like reskinned Crystal Beast deck going on here? While this card is treated as a continuous trap, you can special summon it. Fascinating. Okay. So this deck seems to be... they decided to make an entire archetype based around Vision Hero Increase. That's fantastic. Okay. Centurion Trudea. This is the best card ever printed. This deck is tier 0. Everyone buy this right now. Let's read what the card actually does, though. That's probably a little bit important. Level 4 Dark Pyro. Pyro support! Pyro support! 1020. You can only use first and second effect once per turn. During your main phase, place this card you control and the Centurion from your hand or deck. That's pretty good. Face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous traps, but you can't special Trudea for the rest of this turn. The main phase is treated as a continuous trap, special summon it, then increase its level by 4. Wow, are we making level 12 synchros? Is this the OG math mech strategy? Okay, so it's a little bit slow, right? Because you can't summon it that turn. So you place it into your thing, and then you do it, then you place with probably like this guy from your opponent's turn, but like, can you trap synchro on your opponent's turn? I swear, this is like a Master Rule 6 like fan fiction archetype. Like, what is going on here? I assume there's a way to synchro on your opponent's turn with your trap monsters, right? Like, okay, I'm sure there's some funky stuff going on there. Centurion Emmet the Sixth. Oh my god, Ottoman Empire reference. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Turkey, Hassan Abi. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. 2030 level 8 Earth Machine. Earth Peeps reference. Wow, Turkish Peeps. Let's go. During your opponent's turn, if this card is in your hand or grave, quick effect, target a Centurion you control, except itself, place it face up in the spell as a continuous trap. If you do special summon this card, during the main phase, this is a trap card, special summon it. Okay, this guy doesn't really seem to do anything. Yeah, I don't know what this guy really does. I'm kind of just sitting waiting here for, like, the crescendo. They have a lot of consistency and a lot of setup. But, like, how is this coming together? Let's keep reading. Here is the guy, I guess, Centurion Legatia. For anyone who does Roman history, you probably know what the references are here. Level 12 Light Machine Synchro, 3520. Generic, level 12. You can only use first and third effect once per turn. If this is special, draw one and then destroy the face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest attack. Okay, so I assume you're supposed to summon this on your opponent's turn using your quick play monster Reddit Master Rule 6 trap synchro monsters. And then make this guy. Sure, and then you pop something. Your monster with 2 careless attack can be destroyed by battle. During each end phase, you can place a non-synchro Centurion from your hand or grave face up in your spell as a continuous effect. Okay, so you keep placing these in your spell and trap zones, but I don't understand what you do with that. Like, it seems pretty consistent, but where's the win con? Like, how are you making this? Surely one of these cards does it. I mean, holy crap, there's like 4 new cards here. One of them surely gets us there, right? Stand up, Centurion! You can... Oh, field spell! Let me guess. Add a card from the deck to the hand that is part of the archetype. Did I get it right? The field spell. Add a card from deck to hand. That is... Yeah? Do we get it? Do we get it? You can only use the second and third effect once per turn. Cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while they control a Centurion. During your main phase, if... Wow! Okay, there's no Rota effect! Konami really pop it off with their card design these days, huh? They're really... Yeah, they're being really original, I feel like. During your main phase, if this was activated this turn, send a card from your hand to the grave. Cost, play Centurion from your deck, face up in your spell and trap. Okay, so that helps you put out Trudea without using her effect. You cannot special Trudea for the rest of it. Okay, that's really good, because Trudea seems to be the one. Well, this card's treated as continuous trap. You can special summon it, then you increase its level by 4. So you can directly put Trudea in your thing, and then activate our effect to special summon. Wait, so how do you actually get the synchro off, though? Has to be the third effect, surely. If I'm also special, you can immediately have this synchro summon. There it is! We found it! Woo! It's the field spell. Alright, there it is. It is the heart and soul of the deck, then. It puts the card from your deck into the spell and trap zone, and then, when it summons itself, it lets you synchro. So, there it is. That is the entire heart and soul of the deck here, and that is how this archetype functions. Read the card first. What do you think I'm doing? Oh, Twitch chat, I swear to God. This is why sometimes I hate reading cards on stream, because, like, everyone who's, like, already read the cards is, like, screaming, like, yes, I'm getting there, let me read. I am reading. The cards are processing in my brain, I'm looking at the text on the screen, it's going into my cranium. Anyway, Faith of the Centurion. Quick play spell. You can only use the first, second effect of this name once per turn. Place a Centurion from your hand or grave, face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. Okay, this is kind of crap so far. The Centurion synchro special to your field while this card is in your graveyard. You can banish this and target Centurion in your grave, place it in your face and spell and trap as a continuous trap. Okay, so it's a lot better with the grave effect, so it just gives you more consistency here. You just keep putting guys in from your grave. So you put guys into your spell and trap zone. You quick synchro on your opponent's turn as you special summon them because they're traps technically. You summon the big guy on your opponent's turn. You pop a card. They're in the graveyard. You banish this. You recycle, put them back in the spell and trap zone, and then you keep doing it again. You just have infinite synchro like plays essentially. You just never run out of resources. Kind of cool, I suppose. This card's very sort of definitely needs setup to be good, so doesn't really help you play through disruption. I'm not really seeing any real ways to extend, although I guess this guy kind of extends. I mean, they all sort of are extenders in their own right, kind of. Let's see what this trap card is. Phalanx. You know what? This is going to come to TCG. They're going to remove all of the Roman army references, right? Like, of 100%. This deck is probably going to be called, like, instead of Centurion, they're probably going to call it, like, I don't know, like, Furry Generals. There you go. I'm calling it right now. Normal trap. You can only use one of the first and second effects of this name per turn and only once that turn. You can start to face a monster on the field. Banish it, and if you do special, summon it to its owner's field during the standby phase of the next turn. Basically just Farfa. That's really nice. That's a really good effect. Banish this from your grave and target a Centurion in your grave. A special summon. If you do, it loses 15. That's pretty good. Especially considering the fact that this guy just searches Centurion cards, so you just have a searchable Farfa. That's really strong. With a little bit of recycling as well. I mean, very good recycling. It brings back your boss monster, albeit it gives it less attack points, but that's pretty decent. And another card here, we have a counter trap here. Let me guess, Infernity Barrier. Only activate when this name once per turn. With spell trap, most effects activate, send a face on most spell trap zone negate, and if you do, destroy that card. Okay, yeah, Infernity Barrier. That's really good. This seems decent. I'm not gonna lie. For only 3 monsters, this seems like a decent deck. Genuinely. For a deck that literally just has 3 cards, 3 monsters, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's a boring trap card, I know. They definitely should have redesigned this in some other cool way. Like, this is very uninteresting. This one's good, though. This is kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cool. I feel like you probably want to throw in another engine here. Maybe Diabell Stars or something. At least apparently it seems to be that's what OCG's doing, is just throwing Diabell into every deck in the game. But this is solid. This is like a solid, like, starting deck here. The only issue is, like, the biggest weakness is, like, this deck seems to pretty much do nothing without the field spell. Like, legitimately, absolutely just does nothing without the field spell. So if you're ever in a sort of back row hate meta where, like, Cyclones and stuff are decent, like, this deck just does not do anything. It literally doesn't have a play. Like, you're playing Crystal Beast. It's worse than Crystal Beasts. So they probably need some way to, like, deal with field spell removal or protection. because that seems to be the all-important part of the archetype, but overall, this is really solid. It seems decent. It's genuinely pretty good, and I can definitely see this being a solid rogue deck, and I assume there'll be more support, because 3 monsters is very low. This could legitimately be a meta-contending deck. I can see this being a meta deck. But the over-reliance on that field spell will probably never make it the best deck. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, well, overall, I think they definitely just need, like, another monster, probably. And I think it would probably be playable out of the box. I mean, I'd still argue this is playable out of the box right now. God, I didn't even think about Magic Planter. I guess that counts, technically. This deck just has, like, basically D-draw with Magic Planter. Magic Planter's low-key one of my favorite spells in the game, because, like, I used to love using this in Volcanics for sending Rocket, or what's it called again? You know, the trap card. And drawing 2 cards and setting up Scattershot. I love that. So, Magic Planter's genuinely one of my favorite cards, so that's really cool. Yeah, overall, solid, decent first wave of support. Actually, above average first wave of support. Most decks, if you really think about it, have really bad first wave of support. This is really good. So I could absolutely see this being a good deck in the future. Let's go! Centurions! Stand up!